Ladies and gentlemen, over here with the Cutman from Sean Porter. How are you, Mr. Hope?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Tell us, how you see Sean Porter right now going against Danny Garcia for this fight.
They keep talking about Styles. This is a great fight for Styles. You've got Sean, who's always, putting lots of pressure on you. And you've got Danny, who's, got good skills. And the question is, can one man take the other one out of his game? And we're hoping that we're taking Danny out of his game tonight. But a lot of respect to both guys.
Definitely.
Danny a long time.
Definitely, I say, respect for both fighters, because I think this is one of the biggest fights over here right now in New York, because, we would say it like this, in a welterweight division right now, these are the two names that after this, I would say that someone will go for Cutman or Spence, but
I wish it was a unification bout.
It would have been nice, but it's for the WBC belt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And could you tell us, in order that you are in Sean Porter corner, how you prepare his hands and everything? Could you describe, a little bit of details, because a lot of people they don't understand sometimes, when the hand wrapping and everything.
Well, just about anybody that wraps hands wraps for the fighter, not for the guy wrapping. So you can turn out a very good-looking hand wrap, but if the fighter doesn't feel comfortable with the wrap, if he doesn't like it, if he doesn't feel good when you're done, you might as well take it all off and redo it, because that's the first thing that has to happen. The fighter's got to feel comfortable. He's got to make a fist and say, yeah, this is what I need. And that's the first thing. And then the other thing is the wrap has got to do its job. It's got to protect the hand. It's got to support the wrist. It's got to protect the knuckles. So it's kind of simple what it has to do, but it's not as simple to make it always do it.
I would say it has to be somebody that has the experience and the skills, and
it's why it's good to have. In our case, I know Sean. He knows me. We've done this many times, but you always want to talk to the fighter and just say, anything I need to know or anything. And while you're wrapping him, you want to talk to him and say, how's that feel?
Yeah.
Why wrap a whole hand and then get done and say, how's that feel, when you can do it 2 or 3 times along the way?
How does that work over here in New York? Because I know every state has a different, rules and everything. Like for the for the commissioners, when they come and they check their hand wrapping and everything, how does that work? How many inches of gauze, it has to be on the fighter? Does it really matter when you put a lot of gauze on it, or how does that work over here?
A lot of the commissions are not that strict on the amount of gauze, because typically the amount of gauze doesn't help the fighter at all. If anything, he's got more cushion. But tape, they're careful with letting tape underneath and creating a situation where you've got something that's harder than just a wrapped hand. So when you start putting a lot of, if you put, you can put an X on the skin, and one time around the wrist with tape, just as a supportive measure, and then wrap it with gauze, and then finish the tape. But you can't wrap with gauze and then start putting tape on and go back with gauze and more tape and start layering it like that. You're creating something that is almost like a cast. It's dangerous.
Like a plaster, I would say, right? Like maybe something kind of, I don't know how I gotta call it, but it sounds to me like a plaster, like this fighter that he fought, Miguel Cotto, like they said it, that he used some type of.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, you have to stay back about 3/4 of an inch from the knuckles with your tape. So if the tape is not going down over the knuckle, then really you're still just putting support on the hand, support on the wrist. But if you get too close to the knuckles, that's where you start creating something that could be dangerous. Nobody wants to do that.
What's the dangerous thing that it can happen if someone doesn't really wrap, correctly the way it's supposed to be?
Well, a boxer can hurt his hand from punching wrong, or just throwing a punch too hard, if it's not wrapped right. But, they can, I've always believed that the 2 knuckles right here, this is what you want to hit with.
Yep.
Because you have a nice line through your forearm. As soon as you start hitting down in here, you create a weakness in your wrist. But there's not much you can do once the hand is wrapped if there's a problem up in the ring after you've got them wrapped. Then The fighter's just got to go through with it. And you've seen fighters that have broken their hand and continued in the fight afterwards. So you try to do everything you can as best you can before the fight to make sure that it's wrapped right.
I see. So
you can break a finger, you can sprain your wrist.
Oh, dislocated, I guess.
Dislocated a knuckle. There's still so many things you can do. Everything you could do with no wrap, you could also do with a wrap. But hopefully, if you hit correctly and you don't have any hand problems. In boxing, it's a little different. In martial arts, it's almost a completely different philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't know many boxing coaches that talk about toughening the hands. It's a rarity where you hit a rope-covered board to toughen your knuckles and wrists, things like this. A lot of boxers I see nowadays, they're not guys that work on farms. They haven't come up, in tough times.
Tough times, yeah.
So they're not used to doing a lot of work with their hands. And a lot of boxers don't have strong hands. Even your heavyweights, a lot of them don't have strong hands. They're big guys, but guys like Rocky Marciano that carried ice up and down steps for years, and old guys that were farmers, and guys like Joe Frazier and Foreman. These guys worked hard. Their hands were big and strong, and then, it helped them in boxing. Nowadays, a lot of these kids that live in the city, they become very, very talented, but at what point did they ever use their hands to get strong?
It's stronger, yeah. It's not the same thing that you, let's say, lifted weights or, like you compare right now, those fighters, like, they used to be, like back in the day, they used to work in the farms or do some type of,
kids work
hard, job. Like, we can't compare, times, like, let's say, before it was different times, and I'm glad that you explained in all of this, because I feel like it plays a real, role in the fighter when they have to wrap their hands.
Exactly.
A lot of people, they might be gonna say, "Oh, he's just a cutman." Nah, he plays a very important role in the fight, because, like you mentioned, what about if he's something, is not, or the fighter doesn't feel comfortable? You can't go back and say, "Oh."
You don't want to be any other reason why the fighter lost the fight. And it's nice. You don't want to have to deal with a cut if you don't. You're hoping there are no cuts. But if you do have one, it's very important that you can stop that and save your fighter, keep him in the ring. You're not going to help him fight better. So what you're going to do is keep him in the fight. And if he's got swelling, try to keep the swelling down so he can see well. Keep the amount of blood down so that the referee doesn't stop the fight or the doctor doesn't stop the fight, especially if he's winning,
Yeah. So those are the details, or, the things that sometimes, suddenly can happen. You never know. Like you said it before, if the hand wrapping is correctly and everything goes, perfect according, what you did the job, in the fighter hands, I think the fight is going to be, it's going to be safety for the fighter. But if not, then
exactly. And just like cuts, there's different commissions only allow certain products to use. Out in Nevada, they've got quite a few products that you can use. New York is not as many. Maryland's not many. So all the states vary a little bit on what products you can use.
Yeah.
So your cut man's got to go on the website. He's got to find out and make sure that he's staying in compliance with what's perfectly legal in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Right now we got Saturday night.
Exactly. And how about for this fight, Shawn Porter and Danny?
I've said it to people, and I don't have a problem saying it now. Shawn Porter does what Shawn Porter is supposed to do. Shawn Porter does what Shawn Porter is capable of doing and has done in the past. I see him coming out of there with the belt. No disrespect to Danny. Danny's a great fighter. I love watching him. When he's not in the ring with Shawn, I root for Danny. But now he's in the opposite corner. And Shawn puts a very unusual amount of pressure on a fighter. And anybody that's ever been in the ring with anybody knows that when a fighter puts a lot of pressure on you, he changes your game. It's hard to do all those things that you do naturally when somebody's not giving you room to do it, time to do it, and smothering you and hitting you. It's like having a fire in the kitchen. It's hard to hard to put together a nice cake while there's a fire in the kitchen.
I agree with you. So we'll gotta see, you know, who comes in the best, you know, game plan, and you know, I would say, you know, the best may win, because we don't know yet who's gonna be. But you know,
they both want it, but I will say the winner that's going to come out of this one is going to be the fans. The fans are going to get their money's worth. Both these guys give 100%. They both come to win. They both come to fight, and you know, this is a fight that everybody, I think, is going to really enjoy either way. In the same way they enjoyed Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter. Both guys are gonna put a great show, great you know, performance. So, any message that would you like to give it to all the fight fans and everybody that loves boxing? Hey, just enjoy the fight. That's all. Enjoy the fight and follow boxing a little bit, you know, more, and maybe dig a little deeper. It's a sport that the more you know, the more you enjoy it.
Definitely, I agree with you. You know, wishing you the best for, you know, in your corner, and also for Danny. We'll see what's gonna happen on this Saturday night.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Appreciate it. Man.